it's a good product. And what I saw last night with these two teams tangling in back-to-back games, because it got heated 3 days ago when I watched it, was absolutely unacceptable.
That's Stacey Dales, former WNBA player, longtime broadcaster on the Dan Patrick Show. And she's not reaching for those words. The play she's calling egregious is the one that just got a player suspended. On Friday, June 26, the Indiana Fever ruled Caitlin Clark out for Saturday's game against the Los Angeles Sparks, a back injury. And the road to that announcement runs straight through one of the ugliest weeks the league has had in a while. So, let's separate what actually happened from what people are saying happened.
Off, how is Caitlin after Wednesday, and do you have any updates on her condition?
Yeah, she's okay. She's gonna be out on Saturday, but she's doing all right.
Do you have any indication right now of how long she will be out?
No indication. Obviously, it's a good time because we have all week next week, so we'll take this opportunity just to get her treatment, get her healthy, get her back on the floor, and see what happens. I mean, you know, it's the same thing. Long-term health and wellness is the most.
That's Fever head coach Stephanie White on Friday morning. And notice how little she gives up. Clark is out Saturday, no timetable, and White wouldn't even say whether into her throat area. No whistle. White says she flagged it at halftime and was told the officials didn't see it. Clark left in the third quarter with a back injury and finished with 19 points and 8 assists in 20 minutes.
I think the biggest thing for me is that we have to see it in real time. I mean, yes, I'm thankful that the league went back and, you know, used their ability to go back and to review it. But, you know, these are things that we can't miss in real time. We've got to be better. And, you know, I think I'm pretty consistent in messaging that we need consistency in how not just how a game is officiated, but how players.
Consistency. That's the word White keeps circling back to. And after the loss, she went further, calling the throat contact dangerous and saying 2 cheap shots went uncalled, admitted as much in writing. But consistency cuts more than one way. In that same game, Clark picked up her 5th technical of the season. The league declined to rescind it, and she now sits 3 technicals away from an automatic 1-game suspension of her own. So, the officiating story isn't simply, they let everyone hammer Caitlin. It's messier than that, and the messy version is the honest one.
She's really hard to guard, Dan, and she's really hard to officiate. For instance, the closeout, the illegal closeout, where the player didn't have the landing space appropriate, that should have been upgraded to a flagrant 1. It was unnecessary contact, but
they didn't even.
Now, here's the part a lot of people are missing, and Dales just pointed right at it. There wasn't one questionable play that night, there were 2. After the throat incident, Clark went up for a 3 and came down into a defender's feet on a closeout by Phoenix's Valerian Ayayi. She landed awkwardly, grabbed at her back, and that landing space play is the one widely believed to be the actual source of the injury, keeping her out Saturday. Officials reviewed it. They did not call a flagrant. So, sit with the irony for a second. The play that earned a suspension may not be the play that hurt her. And the play that likely hurt her drew nothing at all. This isn't new territory for Clark, either. Back in her 2024 rookie season, Aya Wilson's shoulder check got upgraded to a flagrant after the fact. And all of this is happening inside 2 straight chippy meetings with Phoenix. Monday's 86-77 Fever win alone produced 6 technical fouls and a verbal dust-up between Clark and her former teammate, DeWanna Bonner.
She was an incredibly skilled player. She's really a good player, Dan. But she gets away with stuff. And we have to be real careful when we watch sports now, because slow motion, you know, X, Twitter, social media, it makes it look distorted. But I watched it.
That's the most honest 20 seconds in this whole conversation, and it's worth slowing down on. Dales credits Thomas as a genuinely great player while still saying she gets away with too much. And she warns that slow-motion replays can make contact look worse than it really was. That's fair. But the context that makes the suspension land harder is this: Thomas is a 13-year veteran who, before this, had never been suspended in her career. So, a one-game ban from this league is not nothing. The host of this video argues it should have been 5 games. That's an opinion, and you're allowed to hold it. But the actual penalty was 1. It also didn't happen in a vacuum. After the win, the Mercury posted, then quickly deleted, a meme appearing to mock Clark, which only poured gas on the reaction. And remember, this is a league absolutely loaded with talent beyond one rookie sensation. Dales went out of her way, in the same breath, to shout out Olivia Miles in Minnesota.
We see the game through 2 different lenses, and that's just what it is, man. So I think that Caitlin Clark needs to find her way away from this Indiana fever. Not just Stephanie White, Kelly Krauskopf, Amber Cox, they're all in on it. They're all terrible at their jobs, and she's got...
And this is where the commentary takes a hard turn from reporting into theory. The argument you just heard, that Clark needs to escape Stephanie White and the entire Fever front office, is the host's opinion. And it's a popular one online right now. But look at what's actually on the record. White is the same coach who stood at a podium and called the officiating disrespectful and dangerous on Clark's behalf. Fever president, music, Kelly Krauskopf put out a statement saying player safety should be paramount, thanking the league for the review, and pointing the team's focus toward Caitlin and Saturday. Those are not the moves of an organization at war with its star. There is no reporting that Clark has asked out, and no reporting that White benched her out of spite. The frustration in this fan base is real, and it's understandable. But frustration isn't a trade request, and we shouldn't pretend it is.
I think there is a potential Caitlin Clark is working on getting out of Indiana. I would love it. I would love for her to get away from Stephanie White and this clown show organization. But what says you? What says you? What do you think about Caitlin Clark being ruled out? Are we about to go along for the questionable, probable game-to-game circus again like we did last year? Have we seen Caitlin Clark play her last game in Indiana? You tell me. Get down in the comments.
So, let's land this thing honestly, because there's a version of this story that's true, music, and a version that's just adrenaline. Start with what we can actually stand on. Clark is out Saturday against the Sparks with a back injury, with no timeline attached. Stephanie White says she's anticipating starting backup guard Tia Shaw-Harris in her place. And the timing, frustrating as it is for fans, actually works in Clark's favor. The Fever have a full week off after Saturday because of the Commissioner's Cup Championship break. And they don't play again until July 5th against the defending champion Aces. That's real recovery runway for a player with a documented history of back trouble, including a game she already missed back in May. Now, the part people keep skipping. This isn't Clark's first health scare. She lost most of her second season to lower body injuries, which is exactly why the team is being this cautious. When White says long-term health and wellness is the most important thing, that's not a dodge. With this player, it's the entire point. On the officiating, the league met White halfway, and only halfway. They admitted the Thomas play was a missed flagrant and suspended a 13-year veteran who'd never been suspended before. They did not budge on the IAA closeout, and they did not rescind Clark's technical. If you're keeping score, that's the WNBA conceding one of White's 2 complaints, which means her post-game anger wasn't just sour grapes after a 2-point loss. At least once, the people in stripes got it wrong, and the league said so out loud. And let's be precise about the physicality debate, because both sides distort it. Hard fouls have always been part of this league. Stars get tested, and Clark herself said as a rookie that she expects to take a couple of hard shots a game and tries not to let it bother her. Challenging a great player is just basketball. The line the league drew this week is a different thing entirely. Contact to the neck during a scramble for a loose ball isn't a hard screen or a tough box out, which is exactly why the office labeled it a non-basketball act. The problem was never that the W is too rough. The problem is where the whistle is, and where it isn't, because here's the trap, and the smartest people covering this game are naming it. The Ringer framed the league's real problem this week not as Caitlin Clark, but as trust, the sense that calls aren't applied evenly and that fans are being told not to believe their own eyes. That's the actual crisis, not whether one forward is a villain. It's whether the officiating and the league office can be trusted to be consistent from possession to possession, star to star, night to night. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has taken heavy fire for exactly that. And whether you think she should keep her job is an opinion, not a verdict, and consistency isn't some vague wish. It's concrete. It means the same contact gets the same call, whether it's Clark or a rookie nobody's heard of, whether it's the first quarter or the last. It means a reckless closeout into a shooter's landing space gets reviewed with the same seriousness as a hit to the neck. When fans watch one of those get punished and the other get waved off in the same building, on the same night, that's not bias they're inventing. That's the inconsistency the coach was shouting about, and let's not lose what's actually at stake on the floor. Clark is having the best statistical season of her career, better than 21 points and 8 assists a night. And over her last 6 games, she led the entire WNBA in both points and assists. The Fever are 10-8, third in the East, in a season a lot of people expected to be a title push. Every game she misses moves that math. That's why this one lands so hard. So, here's the real question, and you genuinely have to pick. Is this a coach and an organization protecting a generational player exactly the way they should, or a star being failed by a league that still can't figure out how to officiate her consistently? You can build a real case for one. You cannot honestly argue both at the same time. Tell me which one it is down in the comments, and be specific about why. If this breakdown was worth your time, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.